Chapter 38, The Two Pink Guys Course. Craig and Steven's group arrived at Smoothie Groovy while Kenneth was waiting inside. Upon heading in, Steven saw Kenneth drinking his smoothie, leaning against the wall underneath the logo of the building. "Kenneth," Steven called, walking up to him. "Steven," Kenneth smiled while lifting his hand out. "You're here just in time. I didn't miss your text for nothing." Steven shook his hand while Kenneth noticed Craig, his sister and cousin with him. "What's up, Craig? You brought some company to join in on the fun?" "Well, my cousin thinks the same thing, but my sister," Craig turned to Jessica, still holding on to small uncle, "just wanted to play with Steven. It's the truth after all," Steven smiled. Then Kenneth turned his attention to Connie. "And who's this girl?" "I'm Connie." Connie walked up next to Steven. "I'm just checking how Steven's doing, so I've offered to join to go to the creek too." Kenneth caught on from the way Connie was close to Steven's shoulder. "Oh, I see." He crossed his arms. "Some couple's time you need?" This caused Steven and Connie to blush. "Do you have a girlfriend?" "No, but I still know how this feels after watching so many cartoons." Craig, his sister, and cousin clenched their teeth. "Isn't that a little too much information?" Craig asked. "More like the information of all ironies," Bryson added. Meanwhile, at the register, two teens witnessed Craig, the same kid they messed with from time to time, but their attention glued to Steven, from his hairstyle, his coat, and the fact he's with Craig out of all kids. "Okay, as much as you love to express love in cartoons, the Craig's not gonna last all day," Steven responded. "It's still early. Why don't you all get a smoothie before we leave?" Kenneth points at the register. Steven and Connie turned to the register while the two teens stared at them. "Are you hungry?" Steven turned to Connie. "Yeah, I had to skip breakfast to be here on time," Connie answered. "I'll pay for your smoothie then." Steven and Connie walked up to the register as Steven looked at the menu. Little did he know, the two teens kept staring at him, which took Connie by notice. Is there an issue?" she spoke. "No, not at all," the teen responded. "Then why are you and her still looking at Steven?" As Craig walked up to Steven and Connie with Jessica and Bryson behind him, Steven also noticed the teens after checking the menu. "Look, if you two are looking for a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend," Steven said. This caused the two to take offense. "For your information, we're girlfriend and girlfriend." Steven immediately catches on with the type of romance he witnessed years ago. "Well, for your information, what, you've never seen cartoons that have LGBT representation? Because that's still happening despite cancellations." Steven felt speechless from the teen's choice of words. "Sorry, she's been in a bad mood since this morning," the other teen responded. "I'm Courtney, and this is my girlfriend, Tabitha." Craig grabbed Steven's sleeve as he looked down at him. "They're the witches of the creek, who only come at night," he said. "Are they really the witches of the creek?" Steven wondered. "They gave me the curse and another while I was the last kid in the creek." This caused Tabitha to laugh a little from Craig's delusion. Just when Steven and Connie looked back at Tabitha, she stopped laughing. "Did you seriously make him the last kid in the creek?" Connie placed her hand on her hip. "What? Would you feel scared if you're all alone?" "Kind of, especially if I never made friends." "Look, we've come across this kid and his friends from time to time, and someone like you," Courtney pointed at Steven. "Don't you have a friend your age?" Steven then turned to Kenneth as he pointed at him, causing Kenneth to wave at him. I made one yesterday, he turned back to Courtney, and for Craig, he needs some medical help, which is why I'm taking him. So you're a babysitter and best friend's cartoon lover, Tabitha guessed. Seems to me it has a lot to do with him, she pointed at Craig. Steven bites his lip knowing the step ahead Tabitha is. We don't even know each other. What gave you that ideal? Tabitha then walked close to Steven, looking straight into his eyes. We saw you walking with him in the night in the creek a few nights ago. It's true, Courtney added. We did see you and it felt really unusual. Craig thought he and Steven were alone that night, but was too focused on his gem for the witches weren't on his mind. Steven, on the other hand, never thought about hanging out with Craig in the creek that night. In fact, he's unsure if it's possible if Tabitha and Courtney would actually believe the gem on his belly button, or even the pictures he showed Craig. Did you give him a curse when you two were there? Tabitha asked. No, I didn't, Steven answered. Then what did you do with him? Tabitha, relax, Courtney getting her attention. If there's one thing I know he's not from what the kids always called us, she looked at Craig, is a witch. Then Craig's eyes turned pink in the eyes of the witches who immediately took notice. Oh my gosh, Tabitha leaned down to him, picking him up to see his eyes in close view. Oh no, Connie reacted as Kenneth took notice. Is there a problem? Kenneth spoke after sipping his smoothie. They're just fixing the smoothie machine, Steven turned to him. It'll take them 5 more minutes. Oh, don't play the lying wicked witch. I knew you gave him a curse. Tabitha then placed Craig on the chair next to the table, catching Kenneth from the scene itself. Are you sure there isn't a problem? Kenneth walked up to Steven. No, did my cousin's eyes turn pink? Bryson reacted. Yes, they did, Jessica added. Guys, please. Steven turned to them. Courtney moved around the research store to see Craig's eyes in full view. Wow, you really put something in him, did you? Guys, I know this is crazy, but this is still unnecessary. What? We're not mad. We're actually impressed. Tabitha stared close to Craig's eyes. What are you seeing, kid? Pitch pinkness because you're too close to my face, Craig reacted. Come on, tell me. You get away from him. Connie pulled Tabitha away from Craig. Please, we didn't have time for this. Yes, and I don't have time to explain this. Just please let me order my girlfriend's smoothie, Steven responded. Bryson looked straight at his cousin's eyes with Jessica by his side. Craig couldn't move a muscle with his cousin looking straight at his eyes. In his pink vision, everyone in the room in different gem bodies. But with Steven and Connie pulling the witches away from him, Kenneth steps in front of him, looking real close to his eyes. In Craig's vision, he saw Kenneth as Garnet, just like in his first dream, with shades looking at his reflection. Craig, he spoke, but in Garnet's voice. Garnet, Craig spoke, catching Kenneth off guard. Garnet? Now I can hear your voice? Wow, Courtney commented. Whatever curse he puts on you, I really want to try it out myself. I don't think you would want that. Jessica leaned against the window next to the exit, away from the scene that transpired. She's thankful Nicole isn't around, but knew Kenneth finding out would happen way sooner. Okay, I'll stop, Tabitha reacted as Connie let go of her. I wasn't accusing you of anything. But I'm not a witch, Steven moaned while witnessing Kenneth staring at Craig. Connie, go tell Tabitha what smoothie you want. He gave Connie $5 as Connie accepted it. Okay, you should probably talk to Kenneth outside, Connie replied. I'll take care of Tabitha and Courtney. Thanks. Steven made his way to Kenneth as he placed his hand on his shoulder, getting his attention. Let's talk outside. What about Craig? He'll be fine. Please, I really need to tell you about this. Kenneth followed Steven outside Smoothie Groovy while Connie set things straight to Tabitha and Courtney. Craig sat down, watching the two groups attempting to sort things straight, but the voices in his vision bothered him the most. He can still hear Garnet's voice from Kenneth's mouth, while with Connie's mouth, Paul's voice was coming out. His pink visions were getting more intense. He can't even tell the voices coming out of Jessica, Bryson, and Courtney. He let out the air from his lungs as he laid his head on the table. He didn't speak a word at all with Bryson sitting next to him. Was this what you meant earlier? Yes. Did any kids from the creek know about this? Yes. And more we'll find out when we go there. Bryson wanted to light up the mood, but he couldn't process what happened. You really think this pink ability is a good thing? No. He then looked straight at his cousin with sparkles coming out. Having dreams with this isn't worth it. After Connie sorted things out with Courtney and Tabitha, Courtney finally gave her smoothie order as Connie paid her. She sat next to Craig, calmly while taking a sip of her smoothie. Craig looked at her as she turned her attention to him. Are you feeling anything painful? She asked. No, but maybe not yet. It's probably gonna be tomorrow. Jessica slowly walked up to the table despite having no spare chairs available. I don't believe that, she spoke, getting Connie's attention. Did you ever get hurt when Steven gave you something similar to that? No, Connie confessed, but I don't think Craig would have the same effect. Is it because Bryson gets cut off by Connie? Pink eyes aren't healthy. If Steven gave you powers, you wouldn't even have what your cousin's having. She then signed in order to calm down, all the while sipping more of her smoothie. We can't even have happiness because of this. Craig couldn't disagree, but he couldn't take the depression of keeping in his way in every other way. With the full day still in front of him, he's making sure to make it better than the last day he had, even if he tries to have every kid meet Steven. Then Steven came in, but Kenneth stayed outside. Steven walked up to Tabitha and Courtney while taking a deep breath. Tabitha, Courtney, we only came here to meet Kenneth, not to start this whole witch thing. But you did something to him, right? Tabitha responded. Yes, but we're not gonna have this discussion, okay? And I'm not gonna tell you how I gave Craig that. I just wanna go to the creek and Kenneth's still wanna hang out with me. Tabitha sighed as she had the same thought Kenneth had. So you don't want to hang out with me and Courtney? I'm not gonna stay in the creek tonight. I'm sorry, but I have a meeting tonight. Are you kidding me? Craig took out his phone after what he's been hearing between Steven and the witches. Maybe before that, you can come back here and have a smoothie. I'm not trying to be mean, but you two kind of invaded my privacy a few nights ago, and this incident really made it harder to accept any offer. We're sorry, okay? Tabitha reacted. I don't have the greatest life in the world. It's the total opposite. Just let them go, Courtney said. He has too much to do today. Let's just leave him and we can hang out tonight. Craig spoke, getting out of his seat, catching everyone's attention, including Kenneth from outside, still seeing the pink eyes through the window. I texted my mom and she allowed us to stay in the creek until 9 o'clock. Stephen couldn't believe he would get more time for how important Nicole needs her meetings with him, but with Craig being the one taking the risk instead of him, his mother trusts him more than him. Okay, we're doing something tonight. Is this really worth it? Connie asked. I don't know, but I have to be with Nicole all day tomorrow, so every hour counts. Where do you want to meet tonight? The Vulture's Nest, Tabitha answered. It's where bands perform once in a while, but we can try to do something else. We have all day. We're thinking of something, Courtney added. I just hope it has nothing to do with courses, Bryson commented. We should probably leave right now, Jessica getting off her seat. We're making Kenneth impatient. Yeah, we know, Conley followed Jessica and so did Bryson. Just don't push it like what you just did, Stephen heading out the door. Craig stood still while being the last to come out. He's not mad at them, but now that Kenneth knows the truth, he has to find a way to make him okay with it. See you at the Vulture's Nest tonight, he turned around heading to the door. It was cool. What else do you think I was gonna react to something like this? Tabitha pointed at his eyes. Craig stopped himself again, only for him to take a deep breath. Something you would put a curse upon? I can't argue with that, Courtney commented. Tabitha moaned as she crossed her arms. I know something is gonna happen with you tonight because of your pink eye powers or whatever. Craig didn't respond as he got out of the building. You know it, you can't deny it. As the door closed, he looked at Kenneth, who walked up to him, leaning down to his level. Where do you want to go in the creek first? He smiled. Craig couldn't get over Garnet's voice coming out of Kenneth, but he knows where he wants to go. After we get my friends, do you want to go to the other side of the creek? Sure, we don't have to be there long if you don't want to. Stephen would definitely find it appealing. You sure you can still see with that in you? I'll be fine. Kenneth took his words as he made his way to the creek. He walked past Stephen and Connie as they walked up to Craig, leaning down. This is taking longer than last time. Connie looked at his eyes. You sure he's gonna handle the whole day? He will, he's not sick. Something else can still happen. Can we just go to the creek, please? Craig stomped his foot, taking another deep breath afterwards. Sorry. Okay, Connie leaned up, catching up to Kenneth while Jessica and Bryson followed them. So you can hear Crystal Gem voices from other people now? Stephen wondered. Yeah, Craig responded. I hear Paul's voice from Connie's mouth. It's really distracting. He followed the group with Stephen by his side, even with his pink vision still on. Don't worry about Kenneth listening to the word Garnet. He doesn't know about the voices in your head. But he knows how I got these. Yes, he does. He placed his hands in his pockets, looking up at the sky. But let's not worry about this. He's willing to give it a shot somehow. We really need to keep our luck intact if we can. It feels like Jasper is still following me even after my dream. Was Jasper's voice coming out of Tabitha's mouth? Yes. Stephen lowered his head. She's following us instead of you. Like how the old Jasper would do. More like how the old Jasper never leaves us alone. Now I'm curious about meeting the new Jasper now. If only, Craig. Stephen placed his hand on his shoulder. If only she was the old Jasper, which she isn't now. As the two caught up to the group, they headed inside the entrance of the creek, thus going back where they left off 2 days ago.